Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quickdraw we're going to take a look at one of the stickiest secondaries in game, the Stug. Now for those of you who haven't watched my Not the Quickdraw of the Stug, this is a Grineer themed secondary that shoots what DE describes as goo, but you know what it really is. This weapon's projectiles feature a lot of very cool mechanics and can also deal a buttload of damage. And for those of you who geek out on little details, I'm actually a big fan of its reload animation. Now, you can pick up the Stug's blueprint in the market for 20,000 credits, or if you simply can't wait, you can always purchase it pre-built with a catalyst and a weapon slot for 120 plat. One of the things that definitely grabbed me when I first started using the Stug was its firing and projectile mechanics. One click will shoot out a single small globule that sticks onto whatever it lands on, walls, floors, and even enemy units, dealing damage over time to anything close by. After a few seconds, the globule will detonate, dealing a large amount of damage to anything in that area, including you if you don't move your ass out of the way. But that's just a single click. Holding down the fire button will cause a weapon to charge, consuming additional ammunition and allowing you to fire a larger globule, amplifying the damage over time as well as the damage of the explosion. Seriously, get your ass out of the way of this one. In this case, multi-shot will not cause you to fire off 3 individual projectiles, but will cause each projectile fired to deal double or triple damage depending on which mods you have equipped. You can even see that you're innately launching larger globules of Stug with a single click. So one of the coolest features of the Stug is its innate corrosive damage type, which makes it a great weapon to go up against ferrite armored Grineer, like the Heavy Gunner, and fossilized Infested, like Ancient Disruptors. But although that's awesome, the cool part is the fact that individually adding in elements used to create the corrosive damage type aren't automatically added to the base total. In layman's terms, you can still use electric to create the magnetic and radiation elements, and you can still use toxin to create gas and viral combos. Now, all gay jokes aside, I love me some Stug, and in the world of Warframe, there's only one way to show your weapons how much you love them. So predictably, I whipped out my cache of forma and went a little overkill. So let's jump into the build. So as you can see, I've tossed in 5 forma. I changed over that innate deep polarity, which I hate so much on secondaries, and I've turned the whole top row into Vs. And down on the second row, I added a single bar polarity to ease the point consumption of our elemental mods. Per usual, first in is always our base mods, Hornet Strike and Magnum Force. Then comes our multi-shot mods, Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent to give us a 100% chance to fire 2 projectiles and an 80% chance to fire 3 globules at once. Now, when modding for the Grineer, I went ahead and added the Electric Elemental and Fire Elemental to create the Radiation combo. So if you're keeping track, we now have a weapon that can exploit Ferrite Armor's weakness to corrosive damage and Alloy Armor's weakness to radiation damage. Now, in the last 2 spots, you could go all in and add a Cold Elemental and a Toxin Elemental to create the viral combo that will take advantage of cloned flesh, and even add in another forma so that the combo would be maxed out. But you know, there's a very thin line between crazy and crazy that I need to make sure I don't cross. So instead, we get nice and friendly with one of my favorites, the Bane of Grineer mod, and toss in a Gunslinger mod to improve fire rate and charge speed. Now when it comes to the Corpus, the great thing about the corrosive element is that it doesn't suffer any resistance to a majority of their units. The only thing you do have to worry about going up against is bosses and Corpus techs with their proto-shielding. But with this build, we removed the fire mod and added in a cold mod to create the magnetic combo that will help bring those shields down quicker. We then swap out the Expel Grineer mod for its Corpus version. And last but not least is the Infested, where we swap out both elemental mods, add in a fire and a toxin mod to create the gas elemental combo. So now you've got the innate corrosive element that does well versus fossilized ancients, and gas which can lay out infested and infested flesh units. And don't forget to swap in an Expel Infested mod. One note that I do have to make here is when using the Stug against Infested, get used to running backwards. Because you know, you will die. Now, right about here is where I get into the gay factor, so I'll leave you with this little clip, and if you haven't already, I'll leave a link in the info box below to that episode of Not the Quickdraw. So all in all, while some people may have issues with the projectile arc and flight speed, the Stug is one great secondary. It's awesome to see DE whipping out these unique weapons which add a lot of needed variation to gunplay. As you all know, I'm a big fan of something interesting and different, and in this case, it also happens to have a crap ton of firepower behind it. So if you haven't already checked it out, I'm giving it a very strong recommendation. Let's just hope that they don't do the same thing to this that they did to the Acrid. So thank you all for watching another episode of the Quick Draw. Be sure to do the thing that I ask you to do at the end of every video, and be sure to stay tuned for more sticky goodness here at Gay Guy Plays. So thank you all for watching another episode of the Quick Draw. Be sure to do the thing that I asked you to do at the end of... Damn it, Rebecca!